On this edition of Monroeville at your service, we combine the best parts of our previous shows. It's a maze mashup, and it starts right now. Hello, and welcome to this special edition of Monroeville at your service. I'm your Municipal Manager, Alex Graziani, and today we have a little compilation of sorts. Our show, since its reboot, has been gaining momentum with new viewers each month, and we're thrilled to have you on board. So for those new to the program, we wanted to get you caught up on some of the things you may have missed. Typically, we start our show with a discussion segment with a municipal employee to give residents a sense of who is working to serve them. There have been some really good and informative conversations so far on the show. Take a look at some of the best moments. If you got free food and free t-shirts, you can count me in. So this is this year's t-shirt.
Yes.
Very nice.
This year's design, it's a different design every year. So this year's design, we're honoring the police officers here at the municipality who were shot recently, and all the police officers. It's Project Blue Light, so we decided to put it on the t-shirts, and that's we're honoring the police this year.
Yeah, so the Blue Light is a national program actually that residents anywhere in the United States, if they can have one of their outdoor lights or maybe a light that's visible to the outside that is inside that's blue, it just says to the police, we support you and we're glad that you're protecting our community. And as you mentioned, you know, Monroeville's gone through a lot this past year with two officers being shot while on duty, and it's become really important for us to have that.
Yeah, I thought that was just a good thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, cleanup's a good thing to do, but honoring them as well is also good.
Not knowing your dad, Jack, I'm sure that he'd be really, really proud to see that.
Yeah, he was something. He was always making people laugh. I mean, everybody loved him because he always did for everybody. Yeah. And so you know what, he would love this. He would absolutely love this because he loved kids. He loved to see them. You know, he would bring pumpkins home every year for all the kids, Christmas trees for all the kids. So he would love this.
That got us up to that 50 category, 56 category. So I watched the department kind of really grow. We were starting to see, you know, the mom and pop farm community that we were at one time, we were no longer. And certainly, you know, Route 22, in the Turnpike and the Parkway and everything associated with the highways, we started to see a different crime level.
And hearing you talk, obviously, for a person who's getting near their 40th anniversary, the past 6 months have been really challenging, maybe the most challenging of your entire year of service. For the first time in Monroeville PD's history, we've had an officer shot, but not only one who was shot in the line of duty, thankfully surviving, but two who was shot in the line of duty. And again, we are thankful for his recovery. Talk a little bit about that as chief. What was that like for you and for your team to experience that kind of trauma?
Well, it was obviously different. It's my first time in my career. Now, you know, sadly in my career, I've been involved with other departments that have actually lost officers. Mm-hmm. But you know, certainly to have it in your own department, it was a different experience. I mean, I am proud of all days, you know, how the officers handled that. How, you know, taking the suspects into custody, everything that went along with that, from the investigation, which the county police assisted, at least in this county. One ended up in Westmoreland County, but the Westmoreland County detectives, how they did it, how they assisted it, how our officers assisted them because they had the lead agency. So we did all of that appropriately. The officers acted heroically in both events. I couldn't be more proud of them. I mean, they were just off the charts. Any department across the country, I'm sure any chief in the country would have been happy to have the officers act the way they did. My hat's off to both officers.
I agree with you. The pride that we have in their response in the textbook, best practice, how they handled the situation was amazing.
And even the community's response after it was off the charts. You know, we have that blue light project where people put blue lights up to show the support. We had signs. I mean, we tried to keep it on the low key as much as we could, because we tried, hey, it is part of the job. It is a risk that we know we have. But again, the officers just did an outstanding, all the officers, the ones involved in making the arrests after the fact, the officers that were involved, one was a pursuit. They all did just an outstanding.
This is the time of year where you guys really shine in one of your biggest efforts, and that's in the road paving program. Can you help us, Paul, understand how does that work? You have 110 miles of road, and we have about $2 million of budget. How do we make that work? Because it seems to me that, to build a mile of road might even cost $1 million, let alone $2 million to kind of maintain 110 miles. So how do you guys do that?
Well, we take the approach, typically in October of each year, we'll start looking at the roads. So like I said, we have 110 miles of roads. We physically go out and drive each road. There's nothing that tells you the story.
So every year roads get looked at?
Correct. I mean, your eyeball tells you. So if a road is newly milled and paved within 2 years, we would do what's called a fog seal. That's the first step to it. The next step to it is, after they're a few years old, you'll see stress marks and cracks in your road. We're very aggressive with doing crack sealing in our roadway system. We do that in-house. We have the capability of in-house. And I usually call it the half-life of a road, 7 years. We'll do a seal coating of the road. Not the most popular methodology, but it's something we have to do because we just simply can't afford to mill and pave a road anymore. It just costs too much money. To mill and pave a road, in this year's monies, it's $260,000 per mile. Where if you seal coat a road, it's $60,000 per mile. So there's a huge difference in cost. So at a half-life, at 7 years, we try to seal coat it. It prolongs it. We try to get to a 12 to 15-year life cycle out of every road. That's our goal, to keep our roads maintained to what we need to be. We looked at our roadway system 10 years ago, probably 12 years ago. We were 50 miles behind schedule on milling and paving of a road. We had to change the way we did business. We couldn't afford to mill and pave every road, but you couldn't afford not to do anything.
Currently, we have 21 parks in Monroeville, roughly 820 acres of park land. How many of that's developed? I would say probably around 500 of that property is developed between playgrounds, court systems, picnic areas, a variety of different things. We have just an array of different locations throughout Monroeville, and each one of those parks have where we can actually rent out parks. We have 10 locations that we can rent out on a daily basis. We run that from May until almost October. It's a great opportunity. This year alone in the park system, we have, I think roughly, I just looked at it, 570 park rentals this year so far. So it really takes up a lot of our time over the summer. It's something that we thoroughly enjoy, to offer people the opportunity to get out into our park systems and enjoy.
And adding to the neighborhood parks, about 20 years ago, the municipality acquired what we call Community Park West, but it really has become our central park community gathering space. So what's that like?
Monroeville Park West is definitely always busy and bumping. We always have something going on up there, if not 10 different things going on up there. We have Monroeville baseball and softball that use the fields, Monroeville soccer's based out of there, 5 picnic pavilions that are consistently fully rented out during the weekends all summer long, beautiful amphitheater, mud and gazebo, and a summer concert series that happens every Sunday evening in the park.
And we're also too fortunate that we can have special events up there. We actually have a professionally done 5K racing paths that people can utilize, and we get like 4 or 5 events up there a year for that also. So it's a very popular park. It's going to get more popular because we just recently converted some of our courts up there. We are now going to have 12 permanent pickleball courts. But we're not taking away any of the other amenities. We're going to still have the tennis courts. We're going to still have the basketball court.
So
what we try to do at the library, of course, we have everything people expect us to have. We have the bestsellers, we have the children's books, we have, your mysteries and your thrillers, we have nonfiction, movies, but we also have non-traditional items. Things that people maybe wouldn't have at home, but they want to try it out. So you want to start a hobby, you want to try sewing, but it's quite an investment to put money into a sewing machine. You can borrow one. And
Wait, you mean you don't have to go there to try it? I mean, you could, but then you could sign
you
it
can
out.
take this home. It actually comes in a very nice bag that I took it out of. And you can take this home and play with it, and it has directions with it. There are classes that you can take.
So this is a sample of one of the things that are very non-traditional that you can, like a book, borrow and then return.
Yes, yes.
Now these things I'm really excited about. As a new granddad,
Yes.
having a granddaughter just born a couple weeks ago, I love to read books to my kids and now to my granddaughter. So we got some books here.
Yes.
Representative of our great collection.
I did not bring any traditional books because people know we have those. But these are called Wonder Books. And they actually inside have, they play the book. So if a child wants to read it to themselves, they hit play and they just turn the page when it beeps or makes a bell sound. I'm dating myself, but I had this in record form.
Okay.
But now it's right in the book. And this one right here is really exciting.
I like that it has
because
Alex. It must be really highly intelligent or something.
Of course.
Yes.
This is bilingual. It's English and Urdu. And this
Wow.
is from a
Yeah.
grant that we received called Celebrating Our Communities. And we were able to add to our collection books in languages that are spoken in our community.
Some of these discussions. Quite frankly, for me, as the new municipal manager here in Monroeville, having these conversations on the show has given me a better opportunity to learn about those we have serving here and the duties they perform. One of the big reasons for rebooting this show is that we hope it does the same for you. I encourage you to watch the full versions of these sit-down interviews on the Monroeville Municipal Television YouTube page. On the way next, the best from our Out on the Town segment when this special edition of Monroeville at Your Service returns.